Welcome to LSC. It's Sports Time. I'm your host, Bob Hintz. Today I have with me Nathan Watts, former Hampton High School basketball player. Welcome. Glad to have you here today.
Thanks for having me, Bob.
Yeah, we've got to talk a few times, and I thought your story is a good story. I like it. You grew up in Hampton.
I did.
You grew up on where?
Shell Road.
Shell Road. Started playing sports just like all the other kids. Who'd you play for when you first started?
I first started playing for the Ketans down in Armstrong Elementary School.
Right.
Tom Crenshaw was my coach. Had some of my boys, Richard Tyler Farrell, Larry Wyatt, some of my boys, Kurt Cotton. We all played together there.
So, but we're talking about back in the 70s.
Yes, yes, you're talking way back, right?
We're talking way back, but that's okay because you got a great story, and I want to hear about it. But when you first started off, all you played was baseball and football.
Baseball and football. In that area right then, all the guys I grew up with, the Greg Garris, the Rick Bagleys, the Kaiser boys, all they did was play football and baseball. So I was a football-baseball guy.
What'd you play in football?
Quarterback.
Quarterback. Big guy.
I was a tall guy, not that big, a tall guy, angular. Yep.
Yeah.
Lanky.
Yeah. and then you played baseball, and you were catcher in baseball.
Catcher in baseball.
And that's, being a tall guy, that's got to affect your knees. But as a young kid, you don't think about that.
Man, I was loving it. I love playing catcher. I was throwing guys out when I happened to get up and throw them out. I played Armstrong, Ketans, we played at Wythe, Old Pony League in Wythe.
Right.
Yeah, before I went to Thorpe.
All right. So, and that's back then. We didn't have middle schools. We had high schools.
That's
you
right.
went to Thorpe Junior High, which was the old Hampton High School.
That's correct.
And you played. You went out for football, and then basketball rolls around. And we just say, wait a minute. Why? What happened? Tell that story.
You would ask me that story. Because I was a baseball guy, pretty good in baseball, quarterback football. All my buddies, the Richard Tyler Farrells of the world, all my guys, they were seventh graders playing varsity. I never picked up a basketball in my life. So I went out there for tryouts. I'm shooting layups over the backboard. Couldn't make a jump shot, didn't know how to hold the ball. So, of course, I couldn't make the varsity. They kept me at the JV level. So I took that summer. And I wanted to be with all my guys, so I said I had to go find something I could do in basketball to make the team. So I went out and worked on my own, and I found out I could shoot the ball pretty good.
Good eye-hand coordination.
Eye-hand, so I kept doing that. So next year, came back, made the 8th grade varsity team, got the most improved player on the team, became a starter, and then as a senior in the 9th grade team, we were undefeated, captain of the team.
All right. Who was your coach?
Bill Napper.
Bill Napper.
Bill Napper.
Bill ended up going over to Pembroke.
Yes, he did.
One of the first coaches over at Pembroke,
yes,
if I remember right. Now, but this is unusual because here you are a basketball, football player and baseball, and all of a sudden all my buddies are playing basketball, and you can't make the team with them. So all of a sudden you say, something's got to change.
Yeah.
And this was something you just did on your own.
On my own. No one told me, and I teach my kids now. I've been coaching a lot of years. I teach the kids. Sometimes the things you do when the lights are off or nobody's around is the most important thing. So I had to find out something I could do if I wanted to be alone with my guys, and I just worked on it, sweat, by myself, got tired, and I just found I could shoot the ball pretty well.
All right. Football, who was your coach?
And football, at what level?
In junior high school.
Junior high school, Frank Johnson was the coach. Napper assisted. There was one other coach, but I can't remember. That's too long ago.
Okay. But how did you guys do in football?
Oh, did well. I think we, if I'm not mistaken, won the championship. We were playing against my arch rival all my career, from Ketans and Aberdeen, Thorpe to Eden Middle School, Mike Dunn. I'm sure you know Mike Dunn.
Mike Dunn, my buddy.
My buddy, yeah. My buddy. Big Ike.
All right, then you went over to Hampton High School, and you made varsity as a 10th grader. Yeah,
that was unheard of. I was kind of I was pretty good at baseball, pretty good. They wanted me to come over in baseball as a primary sport, so I came as a 10th grader, and you make the varsity the 10th grader back then was unheard of, so I made it as a 10th grader.
All right, which, and that says a lot because Mike Dunn, as a 10th grader, made football.
Right.
I put him on the JVs for the first game, and he said, boy, you talk about a humbling experience.
You put Mike down?
Yeah, he played first game, he played in JVs.
Okay.
And I brought him up the next game because he scored 30 points in that game.
Oh, that's a smart coach.
Yeah, so I said, wait a minute, But you moved to varsity, you played for Arnie Baker.
Arnie Baker, Jerry West, a.k.a. Jerry West. He is the purest jump shot like Jerry West. I got to give him his props.
Yeah.
He kind of worked with me to enhance my jump shot. I wound up averaging about 24 that year playing under his tutelage.
Right. You went varsity. You played for Don Ragland.
Don Ragland.
And Don was a Bobby Knight kind of coach.
Don't have time to tell you about it.
You tell me that story, because here's a guy that when you went in, you didn't know what to expect.
First of all, Bob, when I see Bobby Knight, you know those candy stripe pants that Indiana wears? We wore those, the top jerseys that match the pants. But again, he was the kind of guy that was so analytical to the moment. If we ran suicides, it was 3 minutes and 14 seconds. If you didn't hit it, whatever you ran, it was to the second like that. Half the guys in the school didn't want to play for him, but he was one of being the smartest coach, the best coach I've ever had.
Right.
He broke things down so semantically to us that we wound up winning the championship. I think I mentioned the other night, we had won 15 out of 15 games our senior year. Riding high. Then we lost 2 of the next 3 games. Then he go to the tournament. He called us Saturday morning practice, and we knew coming in he was going to be throwing chairs, cursing us out of our names.
You're going to be running up and down the court.
Run up and down the court. When he came in, we were dropping our heads down, and he came in, he was nicer than he's ever been in his life. He didn't run us. He thanked us for being who we were. He knew we were better than that. We hit a low. We went on that night and played Kick-a-Tan with Richard Talaferro, Donald Wilson, P.D. Davis, Boo Williams, Keith Hare, and that crew in the championship game at Ferguson High School, and wound up winning by 14.
Wow. See, and it was a different, you guys were expecting something else, and he come in and pumped you up.
He pumped us up.
He knew that's what you need. You lost 2 or 3. You're going into the tournament, so you got to pump the guys up.
He did.
So you and we're going to talk about your coaching, but I'm sure you picked up a lot of things.
You're right.
Playing for these different coaches that you used. All right, now your senior year at 75, graduated 75, had a great year.
Yep.
And
district regional champions.
And you decided you're being recruited, and you say, oh man, I don't know what I want to do. So what did you do?
Well, when I was recruited, I was Dean Liz, honor roll, all academic qualifications, but I didn't decide what I want to do for a career, and I know me very well. If I had gone to a D1 school right then, I would have flunked out because, again, it didn't meet my interest level. So instead of just dropping out and not following, I went to the printer school with curriculum with calculus, physics, blueprint reading, and you can still play sports. I said, I'm going to stay there a year or 2, find my way, and then go to Division I.
And who was your coach?
Bob Cockrell.
Bob Cockrell.
You know Bob?
Yeah, I know Bob very well.
Had a great career over there, man, averaging about 24 a game over there. D1 schools coming in trying to recruit me, but again, I still didn't know my niche at the time, so I stayed there, learned some crafts, continued to improve my game. Then I got introduced to another field of work. This is the radio career.
And then you went in, and that's what I got, you went into radio.
That was totally...
I mean, that's nothing reading blueprints and,
right,
and all the
right,
math and all
right.
this stuff. Well, who introduced you to the radio?
Diane Tucker. Her name is Diane Breathway right now. She's the person, she saw something in me that she knew that worked for that business because she was in the business at the time. I didn't have a clue what it was. So she gave me an interview one day. I'm going to keep this brief. And I went to meet with the station manager, and he was talking to me, telling me, and I'm sitting in the lobby watching people walk by. So when I went in, she introduced herself to me. I said, hey, how you doing? And then I asked her a question. I said, are those people that I saw walking around your lobby, are those your best people? She said, yeah, why do you ask? I said, I'm not sure about this job, but everything in life I've been good at. But if I like this job and get it, I'm going to take all of them out. And she did the same thing that you did, but then I didn't see enough passion and urgency in them. And everything I do with the passion and urgency.
And you went to work, and it was Clear Radio?
Clear Channel.
Clear Channel Radio.
Clear Channel.
And started doing the radio business. But at the same time, you decided to go into coaching. You went over and with Boo and the AAU.
I was one of Boo Williams' first AAU coaches back in the day. Matter of fact, some of the players I had a privilege to coach with or coach for was Brian Stiff, UVA, Denver Nuggets. Now he's coaching ODU. Joe Smith, #1 draft pick. Terry Kirby, Chris Slade, Milan Brown, Stevie Artis, Antoine Smith, Percy Ellsworth. I mean,
they go on, but I want to go back to the point now. Steph is over the ODU. Assistant coach. Right. He sees you. What does he say?
Hey, coach.
He calls you coach. And you can't put a price on that, can you?
And I told him, I said, Brian, I'm not your coach, man. I worked with you for 10 minutes. And he said, yes, you are. He still calls me coach, and it's humbling. It's humbling.
It is humbling. Well, that's awesome. Yep. Now, during all this stuff, when you were at Worth Elementary, you played for Butch Harper.
I didn't play for Butch Harper. I coached at Aberdeen, rec league ball for Butch Harper.
That's who it was. Okay, I knew you played with Butch because he's a school board member now.
Yes.
And But anyway, you took your teams when you started coaching. You coached with Boo, and then you coached with, where'd you go from there?
All right, when I was coaching with Boo, I was still doing with elementary baseball back in that time, and then I ran into Butch and came over. He wanted to bring baseball back to the local community, so I came over there. I was coaching basketball at the time. So I picked up baseball, bought some football and basketball guys, and said, "Hey, Coach, that's not cool." I said, "Just do me a favor. Give me one practice. If you don't like it, you don't have to stay." So I brought it over, introduced it to them, and they liked it. And believe it or not, that first year, we played against Langley, Fort Monroe, Deer Park, other places. Won the championship with football and basketball guys.
And that's something.
Then I had those.
You had athletes.
But you had to groom them and see what they do best and put them in position. But we took that team. They were 9 and 10-year-olds. I took a team last year that were like now 17, some of these same core guys. We traveled to Richmond, Rocky Mount, Virginia Beach, Norfolk. We won the first state championship for baseball for this traveling 17 and under era in Hampton.
How about that?
Yep.
How long have you been coaching the kids?
About 30 years, I believe it or not, about 30 years.
So you not only went into radio, but you give them back, and that's the important thing. You do a lot of things in your life, but once you can give back and run into people like Brian Stith, who calls you coach, Jerry Holmes plays in the NFL, still calls me coach, and you can't.
It's humbling.
It is very, very humbling. I want to kind of wrap this up because I want you to explain to the people, and also how important education is to sports, number one. And number two, I want you to tell the people about what the parents talked to you when you had a team that didn't do very well.
Right. About 2 or 3 years ago, we had a team, we had won the championship the year before. I got a brand new bunch of kids. This is at Eaton Middle School. I currently coach there now, the 8th graders. We had gone out, I had a team, and we didn't have the dexterity, we didn't have the basketball IQ, and I understood it. Most coaches would kind of quit on it. I don't call my kids out of their names. My job is to inspire them and see what each one of them can do and work on that little facet first and to get them better at that and to bring them along. So we went through the season, we were getting beat by this 20 a game, 15 a game, but each game, the team got better, the kids got better. We were 0-9.
0-9.
Playing the number 1 seed, and this is just regular season, the 10th game of the season, last game. We went in that game and we won it. The parents ran out of the stands and the kids, he said, "We are going to Disney World." You would have thought we won the championship. We won 1 game, but the parents saw that we got them better all season long. I can remember one parent mentioned to me, he said, "Coach Nate, what did you do to my son?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, he walks around the house with his chest stuck out, his head held high, just inspired by whatever you are saying to him. I said that makes me feel pretty good because, again, my job is to inspire them, teach them, not to get them excited. Just kind of groom them.
What do you tell your kids about the importance of education?
Well, I'll use my story as an example. Sometimes you could be honor roll, you could be struggling in school, you may not know what you want to do, but again, that doesn't mean just give up and not research another opportunity, another avenue to get it done to achieve your goal. So you can use my story as an example of having the acronym to go do that, but having the strength of courage and wisdom to seek out what you need to take and embark upon to continue your growth. You have to do that.
Appreciate you coming in.
You have to do that.
I want to thank you for tuning in to LSC and Sports Time. I want to thank my special guest, Nathan Watts. I'm your host, Bob Hintz. Until next time.